Hi everyone, I'm Steven Trieu. I was featured on Toronto Life and the Burger Mortgage podcast for buying a detached house in Toronto for over $650,000 by the age of 25. By the time I was 30, I'd already accumulated over $1 million in net worth, could have been mortgage free, but I decided to take the plunge and purchase an investment property for about $1 million in the Greater Toronto area so I could continue to expand the number of income streams that I have and continue to build wealth faster and reach financial independence sooner. I'll be turning 32 later this year. My goal is to retire before 40 so that I can show my two little kids that you could actually do what you love doing without actually having to worry about working a regular 9-to-5 day job. There's ways to make money even when you're sleeping. Over a decade of experience investing in stocks, options, futures, and real estate, I know there's more than one way to build wealth. I strive to create a more equitable access to financial education and resources for everyone. I started an online learning platform at younginvestors.ca and through this YouTube channel so that I could share with others some of the strategies that I've been following and that I've had success in so that you guys can follow through with it as well if that's something that's of interest to you. I'm thrilled to be able to share my perspective and expertise with young Canadians everywhere. But before I do that, here's how it all started. I was born and raised by two loving parents who were fleeing the Vietnam War as refugees to Canada. They came to Canada with no understanding of English and no money. They had to work twice as hard as everybody else. As a matter of fact, they both had to work two jobs and on weekends just to make ends meet. Ended up buying their dream 5-bedroom house, detached house with a double car garage in Scarborough in the late 80s so that my two older brothers and me could live comfortably in the home. But what I could say is their path was far from easy. They were rarely home to enjoy the house that they wanted us to build memories in. A ton of sacrifices, including missing a lot of some of the simplest things that money can't buy, like eating dinner together as a family, taking us to the park, going on vacations, celebrating special occasions. The worst part for me was that we'd never be able to enjoy any of those memories together as a family. It would always be with just mom or just dad, but never the both of them together. So this kind of really made me really sad. I know they hated their jobs, but they really didn't have a choice. They were constantly worrying about how they were going to pay for next month's bills and how to take care of my brothers and I. They were taken advantage of because they didn't speak English very well. They were afraid to ask for a promotion because they feared that they were going to lose their job. They were even afraid to take time off to celebrate special occasions with us because they were just afraid to ask. So I could definitely relate to a lot of immigrant parents and some of the struggles that they have to go through with raising a young family in Canada. I wish things could be different because I wish they were around more throughout our childhood. Even though I was born in Canada, I spent the majority of my junior kindergarten years in English as a second language, so ESL, with other groups of kids. I remember going to class in the morning and then 30 minutes in, I'd be taken away with some other kids in the class that didn't speak any English, and we would try to learn English as a group. I didn't always have the best role models growing up. As a matter of fact, my first interaction with the police was at the age of 11 when I was caught stealing a couple $100 worth of video games with a group of friends. I don't even play any video games, but I just enjoyed the thrill of being with other kids, my age, my friends, and just watching them succeed when they were stealing things. I had nothing better to do, honestly, with my life. I went to one of the lowest ranking high schools in Ontario, but somehow I managed to graduate with over a 90 average. I had no idea what I wanted to do after high school. I knew I didn't want to be a doctor or lawyer, so no matter what I did, I knew I wasn't going to make my parents proud. So, if I was going to do something, it'd have to be something that's practical for me. And that's going to lead me to a steady career. I made a last minute decision to study accounting at one of the cheapest universities at the time in Toronto. That was Ryerson University, but it's now called Toronto Metropolitan University. And I needed something that was kind of cheap and just a piece of paper, just because I knew that my scholarship for the first year was going to cover for most of it. Deep down, I knew it wasn't something that I was going to enjoy, but I pushed myself through it, graduating with an accounting and finance degree. And I pretty much ended up graduating debt-free. I was able to do that because I spent the majority of my university years working full-time and managing a full course load. I literally worked 8 different jobs in 2 years. I worked in retail banking, wealth management, pension fund accounting. I even did landscaping in the summertime. I've worked in the university as a teaching assistant and even in different levels of government. It was at this point when I started working, I realized that I needed to be a young investor, a person in the early stages of learning how to reach financial independence. I developed an interest in personal finance out of necessity. Didn't want to get stuck working in a place that I didn't see myself working for long. Also didn't want to work long hours in a place that I didn't feel appreciated. I wasn't going to lead to many advancement opportunities. But most importantly, what hit home to me the most was I didn't want to spend the next 40 years of my life doing what I was doing, living paycheck to paycheck with no other options available on how I could live my life. Wanted the freedom to be able to spend time the way that I saw fit. I wanted to live life differently than my parents were living. I wanted to spend as much time with my kids, see them grow up and build precious memories together. I wanted to sit on a plane for the very first time. All this without having to worry about whether I had to go into work or not. I just needed the courage to do things differently. So what I ended up doing was I spent countless hours researching and learning everything that I could to study how other successful people were investing, saving their money, and generating passive income. I worked in the financial services industry for the first 5 years of my career so that I can learn all the banking, investment products, and loan products that are out there so that I can continue to build wealth and reach financial independence sooner. I even worked on producing monthly financial statements for large pension funds with billions of dollars in assets under management. And I pretty much studied exactly what they were investing in and just did everything that they were doing with my own money. Even learned how to write off the mortgage interest on the house that I'm living now by implementing the Smith maneuver and building an investment portfolio to help me pay off my mortgage and house down soon. I also learned how to generate other sources of income through stock options trading and futures options trading. I'm thankful for all my life experiences because without it, I would have never been able to save over $130,000 with my fiance for the age of 25 when we first bought our detached house in Toronto. It's helped us save and earn enough money so that we could have fully paid off our $520,000 mortgage by the age of 30. Instead of doing that, we decided to push things a little further and buy an investment property for about $1 million in the Greater Toronto area so we can reach financial independence and freedom sooner. Through this channel, I hope to share my knowledge and experience with everyone so that you too can achieve financial independence sooner. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope my story inspired you to want to reach financial independence sooner, no matter what your background or how much money you started with. Because as you guys can see, I had a humble beginning of my own. I wasn't given a lot of opportunities to succeed. I had to find ways to work around some of the challenges that I had to go through in life. And if financial education and freedom is something that is of interest to you and you'd like to learn more about some of the things that I'm doing, please give me the thumbs up and follow my channel. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.